June 1st, Newark, New Jersey pay-per-view. Main event, Ислам versus Poirier.
The lightweight division of the world's best league doesn't cease to amaze us with its turns, and the next title fight proves it once again.
He does the big punch.
Still swinging though, look at this. What a warrior, Eddie Alvarez. That's the Poirier finish. That is it. Dustin Poirier.
Very soon, on June the 1st of 2024, in the main event of UFC 302, one of the toughest veterans in the history of the sport will get his third chance to contest the championship, which belongs to one of the most dominant performers of our time.
See who has the advantage. Oh, big left hand. That's it. Wow.
Dan's able to get it back.
Over the head here.
This is not
Dan's
good.
got his hands locked. Oh, he's in trouble. Oh my goodness. Wow. Got the arm triangle. Oh, it's a
The leader of the pound-for-pound ranking in the face of Ислам Makhachev will have his third title defense, and given that, we present you a countdown for this event, which will boost your excitement in the upcoming clash. As always, let's start with the contender.
Bro, my whole life I've been an underdog, Ariel. This is where I perform the best.
So maybe this is the perfect spot for you coming off last July.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Dustin Poirier was born on January the 19th of 1989 in the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. He is a representative of a sub-ethnic group of Cajun, French people who were deported from Canada to the south of the United States in the 18th century. The boy was raised in a one-parent family. His father left when he was only 5. All the burden of raising a hyperactive kid and 2 of his brothers was put on the shoulders of a single mother. According to her words, Dustin was a very funny kid in his childhood. Once he climbed on the house's roof by a brick column in hopes to catch a bird he saw from the backyard. For what reason is a completely different question. The boy also hid toy guns and swords under his pillows to be ready if something happens. He began to have a love for martial arts, particularly boxing, already from his early days. From 5 years of age, he was riding on his bike around the town with boxing gloves tied to his wheel, gathering his friends and boxing with them all the time. An excessive activity sometimes led the kid to very unpleasant outcomes. One day, Poirier was boxing with another boy in the improvised boxing ring and knocked out a couple of his teeth, for which he found himself at the police station. An absolutely restless Dustin couldn't stand the school rules and missed classes at any given opportunity. If you can imagine a totally uncontrollable kid who throughout the entire period in school was busy doing whatever and constantly got into all kinds of troubles, Dustin was that kind of a teenager.
I just didn't have anywhere that I was trying to focus my time and myself into being something, or I just running around aimlessly pretty much. And that got me into juvenile detention and court-ordered programs, boot camps. I got arrested for truancy, and they put me on probation, and then all kind of stuff just kind of went from there. But got out of boot camp, got out of juvenile detention, and still it didn't change me at all.
He couldn't be fixed by any special services for problem kids, special schools or military type camps, nothing. By the age of 16, Poirier dropped out of school, and after getting to have a lot of free time, he got into a bad company. Pernicious habits, parties, street brawls. The Louisianan was a permanent goer for this type of activities and was not even thinking of getting himself together. His salvation happened to be boxing. As we already said, The guy loved this sport from childhood and subconsciously believed that he is capable of achieving success in this direction. In a short period of time, he got himself in shape, got rid of the destructive environment, and got interested in mixed martial arts.
I definitely think fighting has opened the path to redemption for me. I've been in boot camp and juvenile detentions and programs and all this stuff that's supposed to help you, and I mean, that didn't help, you know. But when I found something that I wanted and that I really was gonna chase, no matter what roadblock was in front of me, I would break it down and go get it.
The professional career of the future MMA star began in May of 2009. The very first fight ended with an unconditional knockout victory for a young prospect in just 79 seconds from the start of the fight. The early performances of young Poirier took place in Shreveport and New Iberia of Louisiana at the local events. It went uphill from there. The victory in the debut motivated the young talent so much that the subsequent stoppage victories didn't take too long. And what's interesting is that Dustin did not limit himself to only clean knockouts or TKOs. He also had submission finishes on his resume.
He's finally found what he's been looking for all of this time. I know that he has been waiting his whole life to climb up something and put his hands in the air because he did it the best.
By August of 2010, he was on a streak of 7 wins in the first round and signed the contract with the famous league WEC. As time has shown, the prospect lost in his debut at a new place via decision, but it only fueled his fire and made him hungrier, which happened to be a bad foreboding for his future opponents. Up until his transition to the world's best league, which eventually bought the promotion, the Louisianan managed to rack up another win streak. By the way, it was Poirier who became the only fighter in mixed martial arts who managed to beat Max Holloway by a finish.
Man, I'm happy. You know, I came here to get a win, and I finished the fight. You know, I'm 4-0 in the UFC now. I mean, come on, guys. I'm here for real. I just showed it again. You know, I train hard. Like I said before, I don't cut corners. I'm here to be a champion, man. One punch at a time, I'm going to be a champion.
Over time, the first loss got complemented with a couple more. After all, a young age and lack of experience manifested themselves. Either way, the Diamond continued to evolve and get better regardless of the night's outcome. After losing to Conor McGregor in 2014, who didn't give the prospect any chances due to his mind games, Dustin moved from featherweight to the lightweight division and entered a new stage of his career. In the new division, Poirier changed so significantly that it became clear there might be a new potential star and contender for the organization's gold. In fact, he started to truly shine around 2018 when he began piling up and dismantling the best representatives of the weight class: Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis, Eddie Alvarez, and the same blessed Hawaiian.
I feel great, man. Before I walked out here, I said, here we go again, another main event. Everybody points a finger and says I slip up in big fights, but that's 2 champions in a row I just beat, so what's up?
The win over the latter at UFC 236 gave the world's best league the new interim champion and a #1 contender for the undisputed title.
Man, this feels amazing. I feel like I'm in a dream right now. I just beat one of the pound-for-pound best in the world. To be the best, you gotta beat the best.
In September of 2019, Dustin Poirier couldn't withstand the onslaught of Khabib Nurmagomedov, though he caused him some problems throughout the fight. But the fact remains, he failed to become the undisputed champion.
I'm just wondering if maybe against the fence when I got underhooks, if I could have tried a little bit harder to get off the fence maybe, you know, but that's just questions that I'm gonna have to live with for the rest of my life.
After that, the Diamond, who kept his spot in the top 5 of the lightweight division, defended his position in the rankings by beating Dan Hooker, whom he totally destroyed by the end of 25 minutes. By that moment, it was time for the notorious Irishman's return, who generously gave the Louisianan an opportunity to avenge his old loss. Dustin took that chance with full determination and became the first man to knock out Conor McGregor.
Yeah, I'm happy, man, but I'm not surprised. I put in the work. You know, first off, I want to say, Conor, took this, you know, this result very professionally over here. He's a pro, man, and nothing but respect. We're 1-1. Maybe we have to do it again.
It was followed by a third fight, which also ended in favor of Poirier. He got his second title shot in December of 2021. However, the Diamond was unlucky again, losing to Charles Oliveira by the same submission choke.
It sucks, man. You know, worked hard to get back here to fight for another world title, and got choked out again. Yeah, I'm just heartbroken, really.
The next appearance of the veteran happened in November of 2022. In the 3-round battle, he tested the Iron Mike Chandler and became the only athlete who managed to submit the former Bellator fighter.
Phenomenal victory for you. Who ain't got jiu-jitsu?
In July of 2023, the Louisianan had a second fight against Justin Gaethje with a BMF title on the line, but lost in the beginning of the second round after a brutal high kick.
Gaethje fans being heard from now, about a minute gone by round 2. Oh, Justin Gaethje head kicks Dustin Poirier into the stratosphere.
Like, not taking nothing away from Justin. Like, he's a warrior, and an incredible job. You know, to sit on a loss for 5 years. I had to do it with Conor. You know, I sat on a loss for like 7, 8 years, until I had an opportunity to finally get it back. So he sat on that loss for 5 years, and boy, he got it back. But I still, you know, it just sucks because I still feel like I'm better than him. I feel like I'm the better fighter.
So, the most recent performance of Dustin Poirier in the main octagon took place in March of 2024 at UFC 299. A 35-year-old veteran faced yet another challenge, which promised him nothing but getting kicked out of the rankings. But the Diamond shocked the world once again. In his anniversary 30th fight inside the UFC, he earned an unconditional victory over Benoit Saint-Denis and once again proved all the critics wrong who were saying that Poirier was done.
It feels good, man. The old dog still got it. You know, when I first came into the sport, 35 was young, you know, but now kids are doing this so early. The sport's grown so much that 35 is older now when you look at the bigger picture in mixed martial arts. But it feels good, man. I had a long training camp.
Speaking about his future opponent,
people were thinking there's no one that can challenge Charles. Charles is at such an elite level. Islam beats him so soundly that now you're like, I don't even know if it makes sense for Charles to fight him again.
the professional fighter who recently has been rarely called Habib 2.0, and his successor was born in Makhachev on October the 27th of 1991. By the moment of the future champion's birth, the boy's parents were already raising their older son, Kurban Ismail, while our hero was given the name of Islam. Not many people will believe that, but the kid's first sport wasn't combat sambo or freestyle wrestling, it was taekwondo. He got into training at 7 years of age, but to be fair, the guy didn't spend too much time on that. Soon the boy changed direction and began learning wushu sanda. Islam has trained in this sports section for 4 years alongside Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Shamil Zavarov and Habib himself. The future friends and fighters of the world's best league got to know each other exactly there. Makhachev began to have his first bouts under wushu sanda rules, not accounting for many years of experience of street fighting that he couldn't avoid, which was followed by the first victories at competitions.
You know, it's like what interesting? It was 2000, like 21 years ago. We're going to same school with Islam, and he was younger than me, like 3 years, and it was like in gym. They go to the one tournament in other city. He and my big brother Shamil, like they go like 15 people. Only 2 guys become champion, Islam and Shamil. Okay, Shamil is the champion. I understand. But who are you? Who are you? He's like small guy, like 24 kilo. You know, it's like he come back with gold medal. You know, it's like.
The teenager couldn't continue to grow further in this direction due to his family moving to Novi Huset, as it was very hard and time-consuming to commute to the gym. In the next couple of years, the young man played football. He liked it so much that he even participated in the championships for the teams of the Republic. However, his love to combat sports was much stronger. In the end, Islam returned to martial arts, signing up for the section of freestyle wrestling. A year later, the guy left and made a notice that his friend Khabib was already competing in professional MMA. This fact especially motivated the young talent and brought him to the gym of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, where eventually Islam began his career as an MMA fighter. For example, Ислам Makhachev, he came to me when he was in 2nd grade. Right now, he is 20. We spend time together at home with our families, at training camps, at competitions. Is that a typical relationship? No, this is more than just a student and a coach. Combat sambo, hard training every day, and sacrifices the young and aspiring athlete had to make eventually started to deliver its fruits. After a huge number of amateur competitions and different tournaments that Makhachev tried not to miss and searched for an opportunity of constant opposition, the beginner fighter with a great base aimed at conquering MMA. In August of 2010, the prospect earned a victory over Magomed Bekbolatov in professional pankration, which eventually counted as a debut in mixed martial arts. At that period, he was still gaining experience in the amateur league, so he turned professional only in 2011. I like it when we train together, cut weight, spend time in the locker room, and during the media days. When you're the only one who fights at the tournament, the whole team tries to adjust to you. Like, my whole team always attends my fights. The same thing with Khabib's fights. And many people come just because of you. So many people fuss around, and when the fight is over, all of that goes away quickly and easily. From February to December, Islam added 5 more names to his resume without any difficulties. On the side note, we will mention that at the same time, the fighter was also grasping combat sambo with the same commitment. Over time, it brought him 3 victories at the national championship. And by 2016, the Dagestani athlete won the world championship in this discipline. Now, let's take a little step back. From September of 2012 till May of 2015, Islam has been dispatching all given opponents like it was nothing and gradually building up his record. By the debut at UFC 187, the young talent had a record of 11 wins and 0 losses. Leo Kuntz couldn't offer anything to the debutant's skills and lost in the 2nd round via submission choke. It would seem that looking at Nurmagomedov's example, who got on the roster of the world's best league 3 years earlier, the major promotion was about to have another undefeated Dagestani who came there to conquer the world of mixed martial arts. Yes and no. No, because in his next fight, Islam suffered a bitter loss to Adriano Martinez, who knocked out the 23-year-old Makhachev at the start of the fight. Speaking about yes, things are not that simple. Because of the loss to the Brazilian, the prospect had to work patiently and extremely hard to earn his respect throughout the next 7 years.
Hey Dana, I want a money fight, give me Mayweather, woo!
You just say Mayweather?
Yes, give me Mayweather.
During that time period, Ислам Makhachev shared the octagon with everybody the UFC had to offer and dismantled them in his usual manner. A tough Dagestani school that grew into a true mastery didn't leave any chances to any of our heroes' opponents.
Tell this guy, I deserve for top 15, or I wanna fight with Brock Lesnar.
By February of 2022, Makhachev racked up 9 convincing victories, which allowed him to finally break into the top 5 of the lightweight division. In the main event of Fight Night, the Dagestani contender scored a victory over a tough vet shot.
After just when he take this belt, I just thinking about him, because before he have many lose, many like hard fight, and I never think this guy gonna be champion.
Despite all the doubts from the public that stated that the prospect hasn't fought any of the division's elites on his way to contest the title, Islam ultimately got what he asked for. In October at UFC 280, the fighting world got introduced to the new undisputed lightweight champion of the world, who beat Charles Oliveira at his own game in the 2nd round.
I've been saying all week, you got 2 of the absolute best in the world in their prime facing off, and you know, when I went up into the octagon after, Khabib said, I told you he's the best in the world.
After fulfilling the dream of his life, the Dagestani started to fortify his legacy, meaning defending the title against the contenders. To be exact, against a particular contender, a special one. At that time, the top of the pound-for-pound ranking was occupied by the undisputed featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski. After reaching the ceiling in his own division, the Great One decided to try his luck in the upper weight class.
Where this short guy? Where?
Let's do it. Hey, the lightweight on the line, pound for pound number one on the line. Let's do it.
In February of 2023, Ислам Makhachev had his first successful title defense, which was given a Fight of the Year award. The fight was tough for both athletes, but it was our hero who got the nod from the judges by a unanimous decision.
Show why I'm number one. They have to improve more. He have good striking, good wrestling, grappling skills. This is his area. But you like or you don't like, I am best fighter in the world right now. Thank you.
The rematch between the guys took place already in October at UFC 294, and that was the moment when the fighting world split into before and after. The lightweight champion delivered the best highlight of his career, sending Volkanovski into oblivion with a teeth-shattering high kick. He became the man who broke Alexander's long-lasting win streak and tarnished his further career, which eventually went downhill. Besides that, Ислам Makhachev got to the very top of the world and solidified his spot in the pound-for-pound rankings.
Yeah, I'm a dangerous. Now, maybe some people underestimated my striking, but I told I can strike with anyone. This guy, one of the best striker in the UFC. And I just show my level, you know. I am not just wrestler, I am not just grappler. I always training. I am an MMA fighter, and people have to know I am the best MMA fighter in the world right now.
Speaking about the actual clash between Dustin Poirier and Ислам Makhachev, it literally caught all of us off guard shortly after Diamond's victory over the French prospect. However, loyal fans of the sport dug up an old interview of the Louisianan dating back to July the 10th of 2015, where he indirectly mentioned the Dagestani, though called him by a different name.
By the way, recently I saw you tweeting about this. I reported on UFC Tonight that a youngster named Ислam Makhachev wanted to fight you, and you kind of laughed it off. No interest?
I'm not sure who he is, but yeah, he can get his ass whipped too, man. Igor or whatever can get it too.
And here we are. All of a sudden, after almost 9 years, we're about to see a real battle of these two monsters who have been at the top of the sport for decades and proving their superiority inside the octagon.
I know Dustin it's not deserve the title fight, but we don't have any option right now. Everybody busy, but I want to fight, you know. I want to fight like 3 times in the year.
I mean, that's on him. I've done more in the sport of mixed martial arts than he has. I've been around a long time. I was doing this before it was cool, and I'm still here, you know, still here doing it at the highest level. I could beat anybody in the world, and I hope he's next.
Against him, I know my plan, you know. I just have to defend my neck from his guillotine, and that's it. He have good, but he is a legend, you know. If we talk about Dustin, he's already a legend, and he have big experience in this sport. But he's the problem. He have good striking, and his bad point is wrestling and grappling, you know. But he have good guillotine, and I just, you know, I have the key for the easy fight, and I think if I follow the plan, I can beat him easy.
What do you think about it? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos. And of course, hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. See you soon.